Important on one side. This is easy to solve. Can do. The king before me first opened the life and death time. Then everyone's in mortal combat. Speed win. I have experience, and I have experience. If you thought you heard that, speak up. But the king can only drag one person into the gap. Life and death time. There are two kings in front of me. My idea is that during the fast war, only I celebrate. You add to your knees to confront the lost way and the kings of the underworld. Controlled by him. The ceremony in the back agreed. That's right, if that's how you do it. There are more than 3 kings. Then we have no way to fight back. Thought to continue, and the ceremony was not already said. Well, according to what he's doing, from the amoeba to the ass, I can hear you. The king is controlled by 3 people. 4 against 4 is too dangerous for us. It is important to give an opinion. Let's coordinate with the isotope orange fertilizer. If the isotope orange fertilizer, it can work in life and death. So our strategy has been 6. And then there's the horse in the back. In my waking heart, it turns out that's it. So, that's why you saved a life. For Trong Tu and Lu Tuan, thoughtful stroking of the chin. I really haven't thought about this. This way you can really try it. Raise your hand and ask, do any of us know this magic? Answer with confidence. Can learn now. Give me 7 days, I can master. Amazing ceremony. So fast SAO. That kind of magic. From contact to maturity. We usually use units of years. Right? Carefully laugh. My condition is a little special. At this time, Gao Sheng shouted again. Not enough people saw him suddenly say that. Are all naive? It's very confusing. Paul quickly explained. Our chance is only once. This kind of campaign that determines the fate of sentient beings. We can't embrace the psychology of luck. At least we need to know. Current status of 10 power Pluto. You can't seem to pull them back. We have to be at least sure. They won't be a deterrent. Kneeling on the side. We can relate to King Equal. Maybe we can convince him to help. Remote executors also speak up. Your Majesty and the Tai Sun King have good relations. If you invite the Vietnamese too. When the King of Heaven traveled in his youth. I don't know if it's persuasive. Tai Sun King came to help. Gao asked again. There is still a lack of 3. The whereabouts of the Emperor. Does the King and the City of Kings know? When people hear that, they all fall into silence. No one answered. After a while, Gao Sheng continued to speak. From a distance, you are looking for the right person. Tell him to calculate the whereabouts of the 3 kings. And how to do it. Death SA executed, clasped hands, nodding quickly to act. 5 minutes later, it was brought in. He just walked up to the people asking. You are looking for me, Gao is right. We need you to help us. Move the scene somewhere. Inside the hell of blood. A middle-aged man walking in a sea of blood, just walking and looking around, thinking according to the distribution of these spikes. The Slayer of the Lost Way must be nearby. It's not far from here. Save 3 communes with that one AI. Standing next to me, the body of a wronged hand of the Lost Way. This person is the enemy of the Buddha. Because of the Buddha after death, I fell into a bloody hell. He's sitting on the back of the wrong guy. Direction save 3 commune ask. 3 brothers, are you sure this works? Save 3 communes wearing masks. Take out a magic leaf. If it doesn't work. So those ancient beasts. It's not going to be approached and eliminated bit by bit by bit. Willow to helpless sigh. All right, it's up to you. At this moment, in the distance, there was a sound. Hey, you two. What were you talking about just now? This person is paid, the first general of the king. Move the scene back to Tian Lao. After calculating for a moment, I immediately took the pen. Write a pile of letters on the ground. What he wrote was, to claim the hidden crown in Luoyang, the capital city of China. The city cannot be counted. Get lost with someone who can find you. He is now in the blood of hell. Look at the words on the ground for a moment, and then ask. Someone who can help us find a way to do it. It is now in the blood of hell Sao. Blood in the nose, yes. In the ancient temple, there is an esoteric subject. It can be based on the material. They want to find the enemy. Before the eyes of the living who hold this esoteric, he's somewhere in hell now. When he heard that, he uttered a name. Is the technology of the three communes. He looked at him smiling. The tiger is that you have only momentarily guessed. Back to the blood of hell. Save three communes are now taking out the leaves of the poetic tree again. The tree's leaves spun across the sea of blood, then pointed in one direction. The source is in that direction. Move the scene to the lair side of the levitation. Its cry of joy. It's not stopping. It will be soon. You're stuck on the cliff right now. They all fell asleep. Incredibly quiet. No more laughing and laughing like before. Move the scene to the other side. Long time with the campers. I went outside high now. They just went inside and were startled. In front of them, martial artist Hein Duong District, the female god of the Temple of Louis, stood there waiting. When they saw them coming, they clasped their hands. Women's position in Hein Duong District, Ming National Palace, great price. Long time no response. I just sat on my horse and stared at her. Behind them on the wall, there's an eye watching it all. It can also touch very quickly. Turned his head, take a cold look at the eyes. When the woman saw that she did not answer, she doubted or said, "Why is the National Space Station?" She watched her question coldly. "The eye on the sign at the gate is yours. Right?" The female position makes a puzzling appearance. The person standing there did not respond. I have long seen her form. Then a voice called out, "Pink interindustrial fire. Look at your expression, it has not." When he finished, he threw fire in his hand. Towards the Kier eye. The eyes immediately flushed with fire. Pick up. It quickly couldn't stand being burned. This I was left on the gate of the city by the bishop. After burning it, he could feel it. My gray eyes are on the sign at the gate. He was discovered by Chu. Hongdu Tu Claw Chin thinking. Lord Zhou's family is very strong. Think for a moment, then she asked you the question, why? Have you found corn? I nodded and found it. But the person he's interviewing has a huge background. My bodyguard did not dare to come to speak. After listening to corn, stop. No more weaving. She gave a lecture. Even if you die clinging to me, I won't help you either. Red spirit fire born with Chu Duke. This generation is clearly the Tibetan king. Prepare for your own transformation. Before he's done taking the initiative to leave. You're not capable. Put your pink hand on his fire karma. Korn replied, "Of course, we understand this, but the ego in the world that we live in. It's been infiltrated by the aliens. Now he really needs the 8 great fires." Li frowned and sighed after a moment. "All right, I'll go on a trip with you. But I said before, if the organ is willing to help, you can only wait for people to leave." Just got out. Excited Korn nods, no problem. Move the scene back to the gate. The question of the female position. Town of Hein Duong District. Everyone else was on the gate. The area you manage has set the show label. That you still don't know. Why do you hold the position? The woman bowed her head and explained. If you are not angry, I will investigate immediately. Care not to say anything. Get off your horse and go to the sign Kier picked up. Show's eyes were burned by the red cross. Check it out. I remember in the book recognizing the trick and solving it. Edited and compiled by the commander-in-chief. I once mentioned a great subject. You can put your eyeballs outside for surveillance. It's like the distance between the eyes of the judge and the eyes of the judge. Can't go beyond 6 miles. When he thought about it, he turned his head and said, Old man, our scout must still be in the district for a long time. I'm a little surprised to hear that. In Sao district, she stroked her chin aesthetically as usual. The seeker doesn't seem to stand there. As opposed to the tons, it must be close. From there comes the force on the opponent must not be light. Maybe we can use that to probe Sao. When you think about it, you raise your hand. Red industrial fire turned into a ring of fire hovering over the top of his head. Looking for guys in the district. Have different karma than normal people. Red industrial fire so slowly, wide ra. Very quickly, it covered the entire district VI. Hong Lin, fire industry. I just walked past the hidden wizards. Hiding in the corners of the mouth. Immediately peek up. Found it, red spirit fire. And then it turns into a pair of wings. Appear behind your back. Then she jumped off the horse and flew away. Turn the scene to the corn people. They just left the house. Then the Knight of the God came to speak. The owner has contacted us using glass magic. That day ordered, forbid us to go out and spy on Duke Show ourselves. These 2 knights are the creatures of the great school. The stupid 50-year-old had no idea. Yes, I know. At the same time on the non-human side, God, he also directed the two princes to say Ra. The corn replied to me. Both men turned their heads. Staring at him. Ask him how he said it. The doctor replied, he said he knew. Or maybe that's just the way it is. There is no difference in his personality. It's normal to have this kind of thing. It will definitely burn. I've been looking for a lawyer for a while. Why did you suddenly change your mind today? The god explained. You must have agreed to lend a helping hand. Head to head. There is a moral if that person is Ra. Before I could finish the sentence, Thu too was angry. Voice cut across. What are you doing here that's mystical? Why can't we hear? Is there a great figure hiding in Hein Duong? He held up for fingers to explain. It's because he's a very humble god. The lake has never been involved in world conflict. But his power, in our Shinto demons, recognized as extremely powerful, even though Sao is in the 4 major pantheists of medicine. He's got 2 species. He's a living fossil. Of the devil, Shinto, the depth of the resources he's accumulated. Even to our own neighborhood. It is also far from reaching. Thu too is not only amazing. I dare to ask what the name of that god is. We used to call her the executioner. They're busy talking without even knowing it. The 2 Lugas also went outside. Queen Thu too, incomprehensible question. Like a character like that, logically speaking, it's not as close to where the devil is. Sao in foreign Sao. On the contrary, we recognize that our owners are getting closer. The god explained. Because the earth is under the sun, I want to raise the devil. It's necessary to create the Shinto system. It can be heaven, earth and all living things recognize. Although Louis has accumulated resources, as deep as the ocean. But he I'm not interested in building the Shinto system. So we can't go any further. Hongdu too woke up. It turns out that's it. Right now, the wall behind them was smashed by a fist. The terrified people looked back. She knows we've been here a long time. Bring the dark face into the questioning of time. God replied, "Who sent you here? Or we will use fire. Burn away your sins." The two people did not answer. It's using extreme speed to blow the roof away. People are chasing them. I was startled to see that. Master has long fought with the enemy. The corn was also astonished and looked up at the sky. Baklong chemical resources. They're fighting. He panicked and turned his head towards Louis. My friend is not the enemy of the emperor. Please help Louis save people. Louis can nod. 3 non-medical gods were sitting on Baklong's back. Hurry up and run. Try a little more. Anis and Louis must be coming soon. Zonal continuous poetics spinning people. There were countless cold eyes. It's easy for you to say. Long standing at the bottom, looking up at the sky. Bo is over. Banu's recently, the fire again turned into 2 wings. Appeared behind her back. She then flew up too. Chasing the undead. He turned his head after panicking. It's not okay. She sent him away. The 2 shepherds were horrified to hear that. Turn your head and look back. It's a long time coming up and puffing up your mouth and taking a deep breath. Then open your mouth and spray out the fire. Let the gods fight. Look at the fire in front of you. The Thunder Queen has no way to escape. Everyone whose face was covered in terror. At this moment, there was another sound coming from below. Only the chain of heaven chewed the sound just echoed. The fire of the old man stood still. The non-medical people keep flying away. It's getting further and further away from the Red Cross. After a while, they completely escaped. Pink inter-industrial fire of long. Laughing excitedly is Louis the ancestor. Louis, the genie is out, and the genie is breathing out now. Looks like I picked up a life. Louis' nest at the bottom looked long. Asked the transmigration body of the Tibetan king. He stared at her for a long time, and she did not answer. The separation continues. Please raise your hand. The soul of the Tibetan king. He also appears next to me now. Long to give me. You're not your opponent. This person is finished. Didn't wait long. Respond quickly into the body. Take control of the body. After a while, when fully in control of the body, they landed in front of Louis. Coincidence. You also come to see the laughter of the city. Why do you shake your head? I came for something else. Organ frowns other things, SAO separation nest smile. Negotiate with you something. She quickly pointed to the corn in the back and explained. Self in the world that Anis is living in. It's been infiltrated by the aliens. Now, he needs 8 times more fire to strengthen his forces. I don't know if you can give up your favorite thing. For the countless beings in the other world. Do you want to help? The corn also smiled. I won't let you help me unfairly. We can give you the temples and temples. 2 types of fire feet as gifts. Just nod your head. But you're the SAO to move fire through the Kier world. Corn Anis explained. It makes the fire easier to understand. It's a fire to the sky. Let the heaven of 2 worlds. Is the intermediary that helps the exchange. The organ can nod. 2 gods have sacrificed to heaven. My body changed like this when I took office. We'll pass through that place. Turn the scene to Liu Yang. This place is under heavy surveillance right now. Anyone who wants to enter the city, they all have to be tested for blood. These 2 people are Tran Hung, and they are disguised as A. They didn't break the rules either. Go to the blood stab. After seeing that there was no problem, the soldiers stood guard to let them enter the city. As soon as I entered the forest, I exclaimed, "The city of God is strong. I can feel it on top of my head. A majestic ancient sky is covering the whole city. If we deconstruct the morphology, I am afraid that I will be in the royal palace." Notice right away, Tran Hung nodded in agreement. Yes, I feel the same way. It's not easy for us to get out in the city. Move the scene to the other side. There is a child in a house right now. Slowly open the door. There are two pagans waiting outside. The boy directed them to deliver. "Master, I have told you. He doesn't want to get mixed up in your fight. So please don't come. Love the believers. The author of the book is angry. Don't put your nose back. He hasn't finished yet." Prophets of the private sector have loudly interrupted. "Shut up." Then the customer directed the boy to say, "Ra, please help convey a few words. Tell him we're back in the foyer 4 days later." The boy nodded. "Okay, then there's no more pickles." Close the door and go back. It quickly comes in and tells the person inside. The owner sent him away, and the keyer doubted. What do they say? The boy also passed it on, just as the prophet said. Westerners can see the talking face. 4 days later, they came back. This person is the top 10 power Pluto. To justify the extraordinary new Plains King. 6 power great complaints about the great hell and the city of death. When he heard that, he sat up. Give yourself 4 days to think. See, this time it's non-negotiable. Move the scene back to Hein Duong. A lot of people are with Louis right now. They all gathered in one place. After negotiating for a while, Louis said, "Ra, let's make that decision." Everyone rested in Hein Duong one night later. We start tomorrow morning. Look at the people opposite. In my heart startled. He was stupid when he was a devil. After a moment, he asked for a long time. The old man couldn't refuse them. With the devil to walk so close, your tricks may be revealed. A long glance, he replied, "If you're worried about this, you witch goggles." At the same time, the district and Yen master met like guests. You can let them handle it on their behalf. Then she directed the others to ask. If there is anything wrong with you, you are stupid. It doesn't matter. The anger is loud. Don't agree casually. You do that, outsiders will assume that the devil ward. We've become dependent on the Big Bang. If we move this to the left wing of the Ming dynasty, the owner will not punish you. It's like punishing us both. He stopped him and advised him to calm down. Brother, calm down. Louis, organizer, orientation, female reminder. The time we're out here. Pay a little more attention. I heard that there's a pagan group of pagans who hold a kind of method can avoid the inspection mechanism of the city. The king of China, that's why it's contaminated. He fled to the foreign army. The woman nods her head. Yes, I understand. Move the scene to the side of Da Lam. The capital is currently standing outside the painting. Contemplation of observation. When I went to the tomb with the Lord and 10 good people, I have found traces of people coming in Da Lam exam. The painting here has also been viewed. Not only that, the painting was destroyed. The position of the 2 saints in the picture has also changed. Like that, there is only the high existence of samsara and reincarnation that can trigger this particular state. The customer is not sure. Thank you very much. The next time, 6 saints will bring attention. Move to your world. That we can more easily carry out our plans. Turn the scene to the Ngok Miu Palace in Kunlun Mountain. above the world. 4 of the 6 saints gathered here. Ask the person next to you. The old man and the lady. Catholic preacher. The Lord is complaining. Asian debate. She is alone in a room away from her father. This conference is only for of us. Primal God sitting on one side. Ask now too. You said something important. It has something to do with the flute player. A slap SAO waterfall. Continue to shake your head. Many flute players, but they're all in the steady state of the creator. Of the chaotic world. Open war. So far, we've only tracked 2,414 asteroids. But especially Nin Bagreece, it appeared for a short time. Primal God frowned. Then there's something so important. We need to leave all the work in our hands. Go back to the Bad Jade Palace. Continue to explain. Local org has discovered the secret of birth and death and reincarnation. 2 people who are Catholic and primordial. I was startled to hear that. Move the scene to the other side. It's going through glass right now. Talk to that AI underneath the underworld. You've found 3. Good, very good. You take him out of hell first. Platoon punished, the Greek muscle. The selection will be completed at the latest in half a month. Until then, we'll gather in hell. The man clasped his hands and nodded. Yes, I understand. The glass then quickly dissolves. Wait for the glass to completely disappear. Gao Sheng turned his head and glanced at the people behind him and said, there is just a lack of work to determine the position of the undead kings. Okay, before Nin solemnly cultivate into citrus isotope Mong fertilizer, you must complete the task at hand. He knelt down seriously. It doesn't matter. He's the one responsible. Determine the stance of Equality King. Standing on one side of my stomach, extremely uncomfortable. I think that alone is enough to use. Why are you dragging me in again? Remote Executor is the one responsible. Take the fruit and onions via Trach to Taiyan. Determine the position of Tai-Sun King Dong Hoa. He bowed his head and clasped his hands to Gao. I'm leaving now. My job is to wait. After the mission is completed, determine the stance of Equality King. Then together with the Chinese kneeling to Liu Yang, to determine the position of the reclusive monarch. In Liu Yang moving the scene to the other side. 10 good people are eating together. The rice suddenly appeared. The direction he asked. What's taking so long to deal with? Feng Du lecture. Outside of us, recently, someone else has been in jail. We want to get through the enemy. Leave it in jail. To determine his origins. But 7 failed. Concord startled. Really not. The castle of hell is not your collectible. Why is there someone who knows the way in and out? Feng Capital explained. Maybe it was the grave that was deliberately transmitted to the world. Haha, after we lost the battle. Say not. He had the idea of someone else replacing me. Anyway, don't mention these first. The next 10 virtues. You have to add the condition of the sound system as well. It's about becoming a judge. The infidels are not tolerated by heaven and earth, and the traitors swear death. Meaning is widely transmitted in the folk. Because you think you're smart. So the amount of work we're doing right now doubled in size. This will have a serious impact to the progress of your ascension to the underworld. You lasted another day. You have to suffer one more day. 10 good hearing that, then the face worship. Unkind eyes look at him. He saw the atmosphere become tense. Speak out for reconciliation. All right, all right. 10 good people don't know what's in it. And he's desperate to save his sister. It's also very reasonable to add an insurance policy. The city refused to allow the fire to continue. Not if you said that. Think of the time of prohibition in the city. Can enlist for us is also limited. So let's get going after dinner. The capital can nod. But only you can go, I can't go. Dong Hoa frowned. Based on what the capital explains. Because of contact with outsiders, will reveal my whereabouts. The risk is so high we can't risk it. Harmony in the heart of the cold. All the risks are for me to take. Do you have a face, you bastard? Turn the scene to the open Lao. The SA is executed right now. They all gathered in front of the fund. Prepare to transmit. Before they leave, it's important. Forgot to remind your work there needs to be done as quickly as possible. After determining the position of Tai Sun King, we still need to be at the top of the negotiating table. Death SA executed nod. Understand, the fund then starts to launch. The men quickly entered the center of the battle. 4 people were immediately transported. Disappeared from the sky. Go on your own mission. Move the scene to the Thai side. The door of the house where the 10 virtues were staying slowly opened. You and Dong Hoa slowly go out. The 2 quickly got into the carriage and left. That's what a carriage is. But the animal pulls for them. It's 2 zombie buffalo again. Zombie buffalo is old buffalo. After death, they turn into zombies. Buried in the ground during the day. Go out at night and hurt people. 2 people in the car were dragged away by the zombie buffalo. They just soared up into the sky. 2 hours later, the money moved. SA executed just arrived in Taiyan. They were transported to a small alley. It's extremely empty in the district. Improvise the surrounding scene, scratching the head. I remember the last time. This place is still called the Room District. It's been 15 years. The police officer did not pay attention to him, kneeling in the middle direction. After we finish our negotiations with King Tai Sun, we'll go directly to the opening. At that time, we will have the corn messenger of Kim Maze. Hit first. After you meet the King of Equality, let's go directly back to the clearing house and meet the corn pepper. He can take you to heaven. He knelt down and nodded. It's just that we also need to be in harmony. My disciple. It's been with him for a while. This time it was good. I'd like to see a little bit of the disciple's progress. A little bit of Death SA is willing to refuse to give comments. The enemy has said so. He has no reason to refuse either. Hordes of people then go to the front door of the river. Viet Trach laughed and laughed at the action. You come. For the 3rd time in that demonic senate, I set him up. If I knock on the door, he won't see us. Viet Trach onions nod to the goat's millet. When you're done, go and knock on the door. Very quickly, the serpent came from the inside out. Or ask them. Vi Trach continued. Can you bother to inform us? Just say the old man came to find. The snake shakes its head. Really not. 2 hours later, the owner of our house went out. The police officer asked when he would return. The snake shook its head again. The owner of our house took Theo to the world. When to come back, it's hard to say. At this moment, he raised his hand to ask. Wait a minute. Is the name you mentioned 10 good ones? Move the scene to the side where the 2 agree. 10 friendly or friendly direction. Where are we going? Looking for infidels. Kent, God forgives and the wicked are here. Tong Hoa laughed and took out a sign. This is easy. You take the sound seal as a broker. It can connect everyone. Because of your voice, to be in love with you. They all fit the definition. The infidels cannot. Heaven and earth forgive and the wicked. 10 good awakened. It turns out that's it. Thank you. Dong Hoa laughed casually. 10 good people. I still have something to ask you. Doubt or something? 10 serious questions. I am now. You can use the power of sound. Give the wrong sound to someone else, if possible. The one I want to give is the thief. Is there a way? Consistency is possible, and there is a way. According to common sense, your sound press, you can judge for all kinds of crimes. It can generate negative pages, wrong order, give the wrong command directly to the dead. But a little bit of twisting is still possible. Go devil ward, give your dead friend a body. Then help him recover. Then he seems to have stolen the heavens. Like that, you can also receive your orders. I have become a shadow under you. So we need to go to the devil's ward. 10 virtuous excitements clasped hands nodding. It is needed on the other side. Turn the scene to the devil in the sword. Here and now, the afterglow of the battle left behind by Ning has not completely disappeared. The architecture of the house is still in ruins. The land is still full of water and not dry. Sit up, beside Willow Tu and Luong drinking side. I can see for myself that there is no silver for them. As a result, the army of heaven has just arrived. The remnants of San Yin left me and ran away. They don't really deserve to be human. The angry man glanced at him. Talk about the same. It's not because you want his background. But have you ever thought? In the eyes of the great men of heaven, existence like you or me, it's a rag. Use it a little well. If you clean the cloth, change it to another one, even if the world wants to join them. He didn't have time to finish. There was an alarm outside. The owner of Taisun, King Dong Hoa, came to find it. Frowning figure, Dong Hoa, Sao. What is he doing here? Together with 10 good people, I'm sitting outside the hall waiting. He has a little. I can't believe the 10 good directions, said Ra. You're good, young man, dancing and evil. But he refused the invitation of the kings. As arrogant as they are. You agree to make your own mistakes. Take the selfishness of the wind. Capital absolutely can't think of this. 10 goodness is also a little fun to laugh. And then he reminded me seriously. There is one thing I must remind you of. This time we are here. It's just looking for Cho and the evil lie. A good body. Don't ask about your sister. 10 good sad bow. I understood very quickly. The one-eyed demon has returned. The 2 guests have been waiting for a long time. The owner of my house invited me. The 2 were quickly led to the retreat. Willow Tuan has temporarily avoided going elsewhere. They should be suspicious or ask for help. There seems to be nothing between us. You're not in a stable state. Life and death over there. What are you doing running to my sword? Dong Hoa laughed. Of course, there's something to ask. After hearing Dong Hoa say what he wants to ask, Zhang Tu could not help but get angry. You think martial arts is white vegetables, Sao? I just opened my mouth and wanted 2 martial arts bodies. With a cold smile, before the cartoon shows the seduction. They didn't take advantage of time, associated with the conversion to the devil. The Shinto practice of self-sacrificing practitioners. Because the male and female have 7 lost souls, they used to collect 10 that seek Sao blessings. In that male-female field corn, certainly physically, has achieved significant enhancement. Martial arts document, the body is the most beneficial from creating that riot. You say your demon has no body. Martial arts, you feel that others will believe you. I won't let you lose money. He just put his hand in his sleeve. Take out a piece of jade. This is piece made by my own hands. With it, you will gain power. It can be in life and death. Think if you take the initiative to break its rules. You can open up life and death to its value.